What is the test of faith? Does your faith run so deep in your soul that you are ready to die for the truth? Or do you change your mind when fear enters your heart? When 22,000 Sassanid soldiers were gathering on the bank of River Euphrates to annihilate the Muslim army, this ultimate challenge of faith was upon the Muslims. Will they fight the enemy to the last breath bolstered by their faith, or will they retreat from confronting the enemy? Looking at the gathering of Sassanid soldiers, Khalid ibn al-Waleed, Razi Allah Anhu, made up his mind. When the Muslim army was fighting the Sassanid army, during the Battle of Chains near Kazima, another Sassanid army consisting of 22,000 soldiers, under the command of a top Sassanid general, named Kharun, were sent from the Sassanid capital Tijafan, to help Hormuz, the Sassanid governor leading the army, against the Muslims. But the battle already happened before Kharun could reach Hormuz. The Muslims were victorious, and Hormuz was killed. However, Kharun did not abandon his mission. Rather, he decided to confront the Muslims with his troops and get rid of the threat of the expansion of Islamic Caliphate in the Sassanid territories. The Sassanid soldiers, who fled from the Battle of Kazima, also joined Kharun to fight against the Muslims. In the meantime, Khalid Razi Allah Anhu moved the Muslim army north of Kazima and camped there. From there, he sent groups of Muslim soldiers to the surrounding Sassanid strongholds to occupy them. The Muslims could easily take over these locations, with minimal resistance from the Sassanids. But Khalid Razi Allah knew by then about the approaching army led by Kharun. After the Battle of Kazima, the Sassanids were low in morale, so Khalid Razi Allah Anhu wanted to attack Kharun's army as soon as possible, before the Sassanids could overcome the shock at Kazima. So instead of being defensive, Khalid Razi Allah Anhu decided to march towards the enemy. When Kharun heard about the approaching Muslims, he ordered his troops to take position on the bank of the Euphrates River. When the Muslims arrived, the enemy soldiers were already in battle formation. Khalid Razi Allah Anhu observed the enemy from far, and realized that there is no way he could outflank the enemy in this location. So this was going to be a head-on collision and showdown of military strength. The Muslim army probably had around 15,000 soldiers at that point. Khalid Razi Allah Anhu decided to split the army in 3 groups and take battle positions. Once both the armies were ready, Kharun came forward and challenged the Muslims for a duel. A Muslim warrior named Makal bin al-Ashi accepted the challenge and moved forward to fight Kharun. After fighting the duel for some time, Kharun was killed, and that sent a wave of bone-chilling panic throughout the Sassanid army. To change the balance on the battlefield, 2 more Sassanid generals came forward and challenged the Muslims for another round of duel. This time 2 other Muslim warriors named Adi bin Hatim and Asim bin Amir accepted the challenge. The fighting was intense, but in the end both Sassanid generals died. So within a short time after the battle began, the Sassanids lost 3 of their top military leaders. No doubt that it made the morale of the Sassanid soldiers even lower. Khalid Razi Allah Anhu chose this exact moment to launch the general attack by the Muslims. The Muslims rushed to the Sassanid line, in full ferocity like waves crashing on the shore, one after another. The Sassanids started to take heavy damage, and after a while lost their fighting spirit, under the fierce attack by the Muslims. They started to flee to the river bank, where there were Sassanid boats stationed, to carry them away from the battlefield. The Muslims did not stop in their pursuit to inflict as much damage as possible to the enemy, and chased the fleeing Sassanid soldiers to the river bank. It was a complete chaos, and a close counter-fighting took place on the river bank. Amidst the fighting, many Sassanid soldiers got on the boats and started to flee. Many also drowned while trying to flee, but the majority of the soldiers were killed by the Muslims on the river bank while trying to get into the boats. By the time the dust of the battle settled, the river bank was filled with corpses of Sassanid soldiers. Most of the army under Karin's command was destroyed. On the other hand, the casualties experienced by the Muslims were much fewer in numbers. This was another glorious day for the Muslim army, under Khalid Razi Allah Anhu's command. The Muslims proved the strength of their Iman, and showed their resilience in confronting any challenges in front of them, no matter how big and dangerous. As long as the spirit of Iman remains in the hearts of the Muslims, they would never retreat nor bow down.